and welcome to this week's edition of Random Shit, Random Guy. As always, I'm your host, Phil, and we are back for another live stream podcast. That's right, we're back here on YouTube. And if you haven't yet, give us a good old-fashioned thumbs up on this video. Hit that thumbs up. It helps us so much in the algorithm you don't even know. If you're not already subscribed, please hit subscribe and be one of our many subscribers as we continue to keep growing, and hit that notification bell. I want to thank everyone who has taken the time out so far to subscribe to the channel. We are currently sitting at 1,937 subscribers. That's right, 1937. I would love it if it was possible for us to hit 2,000 subscribers by the Super Bowl of wrestling. If you told me a couple of weeks ago that I would be at 2,000 subscribers in the month of August, I would have told you were crazy. We are just under a year of returning to podcasting, especially under a year of specifically podcasting about wrestling. I was very nervous about doing that when we first started, but I was like, man, if I like it, maybe people will like it as well. And you guys have gravitated toward it so much. And I want to thank each and every one of you who have listened to the videos, liked the video, subscribed, done all that stuff. I'm very thankful. As you guys know, we have had a lot of Super Bowl of Wrestling, Appalachian Mountain Wrestling, Super Bowl of Wrestling content on the channel. This is our kind of rest episode. We're going to get caught up on some of the stuff that's going on in the world of AEW and the world of WWE. So if you're not local and you're like, man, I missed the talk about what's going on or what's his thoughts on this or that, this is the episode for you. We're going to be talking a ton about AEW and WWE in this, but hey, it wouldn't be August if we weren't talking Super Bowl of Wrestling. That's right. The Super Bowl of Wrestling takes place days away. We are 9 days away from the Super Bowl of Wrestling, which takes place in the Corbin Arena in Corbin, Kentucky, with the headlining main event, FTR versus the Good Brothers. There's a ton of content on this channel, on the show. If you haven't yet, check it out. We got a complete 1 hour breakdown of the card with Lemon Juice Jones, Lemon Juice Jones, the Appalachian Mountain Wrestling general manager, broke down the whole card with me last Thursday here on the channel. So if you haven't watched that, check that one out after this video. On Tuesday of this week, I posted a 25-ish minute interview with Marty Clay, who is going for the Appalachian Mountain Wrestling world title for the third time at Super Bowl of Wrestling. And then a few weeks ago, we have had the president on as well of Appalachian Mountain Wrestling, Kyle Maggard. So we have a ton of awesome interviews and videos specifically on the Super Bowl of Wrestling already on the channel. So check that out. But this episode is going to be more of our get caught up on what's going on in the world of wrestling, our traditional style podcast. So let's get buckled in, and we're going to talk about AEW. That's right. We're going to talk about All Elite Wrestling. We are days. I think we're 17 days away from All In London. All In is like the WrestleMania for AEW. It's the biggest show of the year, but doesn't exactly feel that way for me this year. The build has not been what I expected. It's not what I hoped for. That being said, do I think anything is wrong with it? No, I think it's going to be great. But the build is not what it has been in the past. And one of the reasons I think that is you had two lackluster pay-per-views to lead us into All In. You had Forbidden Door, which in my opinion is the weakest, or was until Redemption, what is the weakest AEW traditional pay-per-view. I also was not a big fan of Redemption because neither one of those shows really helped us build to this huge event. We also, they had to sell tickets, so they posted the name of who the main event was going to be early, which is good. We did know that Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay is going to be main eventing the show, but the build for that has been iffy at best. And the reason I say that is this past week, literally, we've been using the Death Riders and the Don Callis family to push a main event, which is going to be fucking amazing, between Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. And it's like, I don't understand that. There is enough history between Will and Kenny that you don't need to interject the Don Callis family. You don't need to interject the Death Riders. The Death Riders story, to me, is what's going to set up for the future. It's what's going to set up for All Out. So I get planting those seeds, but I don't understand the whole the Don Callis family aspect to the Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay match. It kind of hurt the story for me. This past week on Wednesday, Will calls out Kenny for not being in Mexico and then tells him to get his ass out there. And who shows up? Don Callis. And my first thought was, please, God, don't tell me we're redoing this storyline. And I understand Don Callis has been a big part of both the Kenny Omega storyline as well as a big part of the Will Ospreay storyline. Kenny helped, Don helped Kenny get the belt the first time, and then Don brought in Will. But like right now is not the time for that. We don't need Will Ospreay getting beat the fuck up by the Don Callis family leading him, because it's not going to go anywhere. Like, there's no reason for that unless if Kenny is going to turn heel, and I don't see that happening. So you don't need the aspects of the Don Callis family being a part of that. So that's one thing that's kind of been off on me. Another thing that's off on me is the C3, the Continental Challenge Cup, 2 girls, 1 cup. I don't know what the fuck they want to call it. The C3, it just ain't doing it for me. I'm not a huge fan of tournament wrestling. I don't like it in my wrestling. I don't like it in my MMA. Basically, the only tournaments I like is March Madness. So I don't need a tournament for a tournament. Basically, like, you have the Continental Classic, which takes place at the end of the year. My thing is, if you needed something for Jon Moxley to do to build up to this, you could have just built a storyline. You could have, and I understand, like, this is their way of not telling a story and getting a lot of guys on TV. So the Continental Classic Cup thing, majigger, originally had, let's see if I got an image here. The original group was 16 names: Jon Moxley, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, Orange Cassidy, Nigel McGuinness, Shibata, David Finlay, Ace Austin, Jay White, Matt Sydal, Jack Perry, Jake Doyle, Brian Cage, Hechicero, Claudio Castagnoli, and Eddie Kingston. I think this is setting up for an Eddie Kingston versus Jon Moxley Continental title match at All In. Currently, we have Claudio Castagnoli moving forward, Orange Cassidy, Jay White, Eddie Kingston, and Jon Moxley. We have 3 more matches to go. Out of those matches, we have Roderick Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly. So you have Conglomeration Member versus Conglomeration Member, which will most likely go against Orange Cassidy to further that story. You got Hechicero versus Brian Cage. Who cares who wins that one? Then you got Nigel McGuinness versus Shibata. I think Nigel's going to win that one to push the storyline of Nigel making it back to All In at Wembley Stadium. The C3 just isn't doing it for me. The matches are really good. I just don't understand, because as soon as this gets done, we're going to start the Continental Classic. Like, I don't understand it. Like, I get it. Winner of this takes home the Continental title and the Continental Cup. Did we need two fucking things for the same belt that we don't need? Like, I think the Continental Classic is great. I think the matches are awesome. I love as much as I don't like tournaments, that one is cool. But I don't need it to be for a fucking belt. I wish that the winner of the Continental Classic tournament won a shot at the world title. If you work your ass off, you should not be working and doing a round robin tournament for a belt that don't fucking matter. The Continental belt is the only one, is like the bottom row belt, in my opinion. And they're trying to make it an important belt by giving it to Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley's had a long reign with the Continental title, but it's in the 100 belts that you have in AEW. To me, it's one of the least important. It's probably national title being the least important, and then the Continental title, and then the I want to say Intercontinental title, the whatever it's called. No, it's not All Atlantic anymore. See, there's so many fucking titles I can't even remember the names of them. So you don't need two tournaments for the same fucking belt. Like, it's too much. I don't need it. The matches are okay, but then like the winner of this round, you don't really know who's going to do it because it's all like at random and kayfabe. So it's like, I think what's going to happen is you're going to have, like I said, we've got Claudio. I think you're going to end up getting Orange Cassidy versus probably Kyle O'Reilly. Hechicero versus Eddie Kingston. Jay Watt versus Nigel, maybe. British guy versus British guy. Moxley versus Claudio. I think that's how this is going to work with the next round of blind draws. But like, it's not, you're just killing time. Had you just not put a fucking pay-per-view in the middle, you could have told a story with Jon Moxley. And that story could have led us to All In instead of just doing a tournament. And I get it. They love Japanese. I mean, Tony Khan loves Japanese wrestling, and that's why he likes these tournaments. But you got the G1 going on right now. Do you need the Continental Classic Cup, the Triple C going on the same time as the G1? Like, that doesn't, no. You don't need a fucking tournament just to get to a belt that's going to have another tournament for that same belt within a month and a half. Like, it's putting a hat on a hat on a hat. You don't need it. It's like taking a chair into a cage match. You don't fucking need it. So that's my rant on the C3. But the one thing I really wanted to talk about on AEW, which happened last night, was the hint and the return. Let's start with the return. We had the return of Swerve Strickland last night on Dynamite. And Swerve comes out and confronts the new trios champions, the good, the bad, and the ugly, of Brody King, Bandito, and Hangman Adam Page. And he's like, I've got a story with you, and I've got a story with you, and I've got a story with you. And I'm like, where in the fuck is this going? And then you have another trios team of the Demand come out, and they're going to be they're wanting their title shot back. But I think what's happening is we're going to get a 3-way of trios for the trios title, because if you want to make the trios belt important, this is a great way to fucking do it. You don't have anything going on with Swerve Strickland, and you're clearly not going to do the right thing by having a 4-way for the tag titles. So how do you fix that? For the trios titles. And how do you make a trio with Swerve Strickland? You bring in the fucking New Day. The New Day, according to Fightful, is close to signing if they haven't already. And I think you're going to get the New Day tag with Swerve, because they've wasted enough time. They can't bring him in. They can't do the New Day versus FTR. They can't do, I mean, they could, but you're going to have a week's worth of time. It's easier to interject the New Day into the trios titles than it is to interject them into the tag titles, because you've already set the precedent that you're doing the Bucks versus the old guys in Cage and Christian at All In. I thought what you would do is either do some combination. Originally, like in the perfect world, All In would be the Bucks versus the New Day versus Cage and Christian versus Motor City Machine Guns or FTR, whichever one you want to do it. And I fucking love the FTR. If you can tell, I'm wearing an FTR t-shirt right now. So one of those combinations of that trio, of those tags, would go in a ladders match, which would make sense for the fucking title, but we're not doing that. So since we're not getting that, let's put Swerve with the New Day. And there's so many hints that is what they're going to do. I think either they're going to do the storyline of Swerve is going to enter this match, needs help, and then the New Day's music's going to hit that, or we're going to get the New Day coming in next week on Dynamite. We have one more Dynamite television, and that's where you can introduce the New Day if you need to sell more tickets. If not, you set up some mystery story where it's going to be obvious, so fucking obvious that they're there, but you don't know yet. And that Swerve Strickland has to go into a trios match, but we don't know who his two partners are. And that is a way you can introduce the New Day into the story. You're either going to see them on Wednesday or you're going to see them on Saturday. No matter what, the New Day are going to fucking be All In. The question is will they just show up after the Bucks and challenge the Bucks, and then we get them at All Out? Or do we get a trios title run with Swerve and the New Day? As much as I want to see the Swerve need to see them up against the Bucks, I don't think I need to see that immediately. So why not interject them into the tag title scene? The trios scene. Make those belts something important. I fucking have hated the trios titles for a long time, but if you want to make me care about them, that's a way to do it, by making where you put Swerve and the New Day together in a trio and let them run the trios division for a couple months. Hell, give them a long reign, because you're not doing anything, and you have a lot of awesome trios out there that you're not even fucking using. You got the Dogs, who have the potential to be big, and they won it for a night, and then an injury happened. They lost the belt. You have the Rascals that you can be using in the trios division. House of Agony, or the Demand, has been in there. You can do that. You could add somebody to the Hurt Syndicate. Like, there are ways to make the trios titles important. And if you want to make them important, this is your last fucking shot. And the way you do that is you just run with Swerve and the New Day. You're not doing anything with them. That's what I would do, at least. I would have them interject into that. And if you want to do something cool, why not do... There's no ladders match on All In. That would be one you could do it on. Like, I don't know what a lot of these stipulations matches are going to be, but that is one you could get away with if you want a lot of people on the card in one match outside of the Casino Gauntlet. There you go. My transition to the Casino Gauntlet, we get MJF going to be taking on Andrade to kick off the Casino Gauntlet Battle Royal. And man, I don't like it. I wanted them to have a one-on-one match. I don't think you need a gimmick match for MJF. I think MJF is the biggest name in your company, and not using him as such, I think, is a detriment more than it is. You got to have him on the card. But if you put him on the card in a big way, I think it means more. I don't like this one true champion. He's got his OTC shirts. Acknowledge him, that kind of bullshit. But I don't need that storyline. It feels like the same kind of storyline they were going to do with Punk until he beat the shit out of Jack Perry, and had to leave AEW. So if you want to do that story, like they were literally doing that story a few years ago at the first Wembley, at Wembley All In, So you could kind of run that one. I think it'd be cooler if you make MJF a belt collector where he's taking all the fucking lower level titles and then he just combines them and be like, I don't fucking want this. I want my title. I want the Triple B, and do it that way. So that's one way like I would handle that situation. But I sound like I'm 100% shitting on AEW right now, and I'm not, because I think it's the best televised wrestling there is right now. That being said, there are things I would tweak. I do have complaints, but all in all, I'm still excited for All In. That's one of the cards like I always look forward to, and I love the fact that it starts during the day. Oh, it's so good that it starts during the day. You can watch the show and not have to worry about it like that. It's awesome. I love that. So that is my AEW talk for right now. I want to transition into some WWE talk. We have a lot of that actually. There's actually more WWE to talk about, which is crazy because I'm not enjoying WWE right now. I'm just gonna say it. It's not my cup of tea right now. It's not for me. I'm still watching it, but I'm not loving it. But I did want to talk about some things, including the debut of Zilla Fatu. Zilla Fatu showed up on NXT this past Tuesday, and that gave a big name from the independent scene to NXT. NXT has been more of a house of college athletes lately, but man, between adding Zilla Fatu, adding, I don't even know what he's going by now, but Mike Santana, I'm still going to call him that. I don't know what, something Cruz, I believe his name, Montana Cruz, I think is his name now. And then adding Grayson Waller to NXT, man, it made their men's division skyrocket. Like, it's crazy how within 2 weeks they went from not having anybody to having such a strong roster. And I think it is great for Zilla Fatu, even though he's a bloodline member and people are going to want him in the bloodline as quickly as possible. Zilla Fatu has had 93 matches. He started his career at House of Glory in 2003. So it's like, he needs some fucking work. He has had a very controversial past. He didn't want to lose. He big time to these people. He used his last name and the fact that Umaga is his dad to push his career so fucking much on the indies. Like, he won belts everywhere. He defeated a lot of people he probably shouldn't have. He put a bad taste in to the point where GCW didn't really want to work with him anymore, but he found a home in House of Glory. He ended up having a huge like farewell last week. It was on the 7th of last Saturday, and he got beat by Amazing Red for the title. And it's cool because Amazing Red's now going to go up against Kyle Fletcher for the title, and that's going to be a hell of a match. But you had it's weird because it's like you've got all these fourth rope guys, and they're almost all in WWE now, except for you don't the last like remaining one from the fourth rope crew is I want to call him Top Dollar because that's what his name was, but anyway, it's going to deplete that company a lot with Zilla. He literally was the fourth rope champion, and now they're going to have to crown somebody else. I mean, he's won a lot of fucking matches on the indies, and I think him being in NXT is going to push him like a fucking rocket. If he can talk already, like that's one of the things. He's got mic skills. He's decent for somebody who's been wrestling for less than 5 years. He's one of those guys, kind of like Avery Styles, whose whole career will be in front of us, It will be on GCW. It will be on any like you're going to see it in front of you. They're not going to be doing the shindies like House of Glory, those kind of shows. Fourth Rope. You're not going to see like you did not see Zilla Fatu show up at small shows in the backwoods somewhere like a lot of these people would do because his last name is Fatu. He is part of the bloodline. But I think you give him at least a year in NXT. If not a year, 6 months. There is no reason to rush him up to the roster because the first thing they're going to want to do is throw him in. And like, if I was going to put him up against anybody right now, it would be Solo Sikoa. But there's no reason to rush that. I would even give him some time in NXT, then let him go to AAA. Like, work that system. Treat him like everybody else. And I know they're not going to. Like, I wouldn't be, if they don't, they're going to strap up one of the three people who just got there. It's either going to be Grayson Waller that's getting the title. Excuse me, guys. It's either going to be Grayson Waller, Cruz Montana, or they're going to put it on Zilla Fatu. And that's going to end up happening within weeks because the three, what was supposed to be a regular match between Grayson Waller and Cruz Montana got interrupted by Zilla Fatu. So all three of those guys are going to end up entering the four-way for the title. So I see one of those three ended up with the NXT title. If it was up to me, I would put it on Grayson Waller, someone with more experience in the company. He's rebuilding his character, and I think it would work better with him and let the other guys chase him because there's not really a reason for him to chase someone like Zilla. Zilla just fucking got there. Like, why would you want him to chase Grayson? It's better for Zilla to chase Grayson instead of Grayson. So that's what I would do, especially after that promo where, Grayson Waller dropped all those bombs. If I was in charge and I had the pencil, I would put the belt on Grayson Waller. He's someone with WWE experience already. He's just kind of reworking himself down there, getting reintroduced after all the bad luck that he's had. So that's how I would handle that. Speaking of bad luck, your women's WWE champion, Chelsea Green, man, that women's title has a curse on it right now. They were, I believe, going to drop the interim title and just make her the straight up women's champion because Rhea Ripley just had knee surgery and will be out for a very long time. Instead, during a match that she had last week on SmackDown, she suffered a broken orbital bone, which as of right now, the plan is, according to WrestleVotes on Fightful Select, that Chelsea will just not be in action for a few weeks. If there's one thing I know, Chelsea is going to fight to keep this title. And I think just letting her talk for a few weeks is going to be perfect. I mean, Liv Morgan went 100 days without fucking putting her title on the line. Everybody knows Chelsea's hurt. So you just kind of let her talk a little bit. And maybe she's ready to go by the time you get to Money in the Bank. That's your next pay-per-view. Maybe give her one match in between there. But there's no need to rush this shit. And there's definitely no reason to take the belt off Chelsea. Chelsea can talk her way through the segments. And if it's up to her, she'll wear a damn helmet to wrestle. Like, she broke her nose when she won the U.S. title, put on a fucking mask, and then she kept going. That's what I see Chelsea doing. I don't see her giving up the title. I wouldn't. I would fight for that damn thing as much as I could. But who knows what they will actually do with Chelsea. I really hope. I'm glad they're not going to pull the belt off of Chelsea. I hope, one, they make her the real champion, and two, they just give her a few weeks. Like I said, their next pay-per-view isn't until Money in the Bank, which isn't until October, I believe. So Money in the Bank takes place October 10th. It's August the 13th. You got all of September. You can have her do one match in September, maybe do some kind of tag shit to set up. I don't know. There's ways to work around it. Don't pull off this title off her. She can make this title more important than a lot of people can with her just fucking being there. She's already showing up at Toronto Raptors games, working through practice, going through their schedule. Like there's ways Chelsea is going to make this title important. And I think she's the best person to carry the title right now. As you can see, I've got 2 Chelsea Green figures above my fucking head. I'm a huge Chelsea Green fan. Please, 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 please. Whatever you do, WWE, give her some time. Let her do the promotional work. Like I said, Liv's not fucking defended the title. It's if you have someone like Chelsea lose the title over something where she's going to be back and then you have Liv on television, it's just fucking don't do it. So that's my talk about that. I did want to get into some talk about Dominic Mysterio. And False Finish posted a few days ago on August I think it was last week, I believe, on August the 8th, that Dominic Mysterio was frustrated with his WWE booking and noted that he believes that he should be taken more serious on WWE as he's the current AAA champion. He's the most important, like he's the highest ranking champion in AAA television. And this kind of all goes back to a few months ago where Dominic Mysterio back in May made some comments basically about like, hand me the fucking ball. And that was in May. And since May, Dominic Mysterio has not won a television match. The last television match that Dominic Mysterio won, let me make sure here. Let's see. The last singles, nope, not even singles. Lost that one, lost that one, lost that one, lost that one. The last television win for Dominic Mysterio was the first round of the King of the Ring tournament where he defeated Braun Breaker, Damian Priest, and Trick Williams. Since then, Trick Williams has won a U.S. title. Damian Priest become a tag team champ, and Braun Breaker should have already been a WWE champion. That was May the 6th. He then went on to lose to Obafemi. Cool. No problem with that. He lost then on the house show loop. Let's see, the next television one that he had. He lost on Raw in the Intercontinental title tournament to get Chad Gable. Then he lost to Joe Hendry on television. Then he lost in AAA. He's the fucking AAA champion, and he lost to Angel and Daga, who when he was tagging with El Grande Americano. He lost again in a fucking dark match with him and JD to the Lucha Bros. He lost to Danhausen. And I'm a huge Danhausen fan, but Dominic Mysterio should be winning some of these matches. He lost to Gable and Penta again. And then in this past week, he lost to Dragon Lee. He has not won a match in 5 months. And then guess what? You've buried him in the fucking ground. He's had one AAA match since March. And that was the last one he won. How are you going to make this AAA title mean something? You want it to be huge when El Grande Americano defeats him at Triple Mania. Who's going to care when he's lost every fucking match before then? You have buried this guy. You have 6 foot under. And he was one of the hottest fucking heels on television in 2005. I really thought after that run with the Intercontinental title where he beat John Cena for the last time, turn his ass baby face. Give us an Eddie Guerrero style baby face. He's already ripping Eddie off. Go ahead and let him rip off his baby face run too. I don't know if it's because he said something and they're punishing him or what, but like Dominic Mysterio is a huge name. And why not use him as one? Like that to me is like the fact that he's lost so many matches. He's not even losing he's losing on the house tour shows too. He's worked a lot with Obafemi, which is strange, but it's how are you supposed to make AAA mean something when the one guy from AAA that's on Raw every week is losing every time? Like it hurts AAA. Like if I'm sorry, but if I'm the Undertaker and and I'm having to worry about my champion and I got to book television every week and he's getting beat by everybody, it makes them look third rate. It makes them look weak. It makes them like the fact that one, Dom is still with the fucking Judgment Day is insane to me. I think you should break up the Judgment Day. I think you should let Dominic Mysterio have some kind of wins on television, whether it's winning on, I don't care what he wins. Just give him some fucking wins, man. At least build him up a little bit. Have him beat some kind of luchador before going into Triple Mania. And you're wanting Triple Mania to be such a big show. Like, you're literally you're having a luchador tournament that's going to end in Mexico with a Raw the next night. And that's going to be like the night before he loses the title. You got to give Dominic Mysterio some wins if you want it to look anything like, if you want that to be important. Dom has been buried so bad it's not even funny. And I don't get it. He was at the top of his game, and then you start putting him with comedy acts. Like Dominic Mysterio should not be feuding with Joe Hendry. He should not be feuding with Danhausen. Like Danhausen, the Danhausen and Judgment Day story ran way too long. And where does he go from here? Where does Judgment Day go from here? Let's just look at it that way. Like the women in Judgment Day are at the top. You have your Intercontinental Women's Champion of can't even fucking remember her name. That's how little the Judgment Day means right now. But you have Liv Morgan as the women's champion, and she doesn't need the Judgment Day anymore. And then you have Rodriguez. What is her fucking? Oh my god, I'm drawing a fucking blank on screen. WWE Judgment Day members. Raquel Rodriguez. Fuck, I don't know why. She definitely doesn't need the Judgment Day. And they brought her out with that weird fucking belt and then took it off of her. I'm glad they went back to the regular title. I wish they would go back to the regular title, the regular US title, but I think that's because Baron Corbin's not going to hold it for so long. And I think it's either going to go back to Trick, which I don't think it should, or it's going to go to Javon. That's just my thoughts on that. But yeah, Roxanne could be on her own. Everybody in Judgment Day could be on their own and probably be doing better. The only one who really needs a group is JD McDonough. Like JD McFunko Head doesn't do it for me. I would have had Dom turn babyface when Finn turned. When Finn went babyface and left the Judgment Day, I would have had Dom go babyface and Finn stay a heel, and Dom and Finn and JD go tag together. If the girls wanted to stay together as Judgment Day, cool. But the guys of Judgment Day have been buried. So there's no reason for Judgment Day, one, to be a thing anymore, and two, to still be part of it. Like, it's holding everybody down. Judgment Day has lasted longer than DX did. Think about that. Another story that's lasted way too long and is still continuing. The Bloodline. The Bloodline has lasted longer than DX and NWO put together. in their original runs. And it's back in full force again. Like they just now made Solo join back up. Like I have so much negativity towards WWE right now, and I hate being that way because I really like a lot of the people over there. Like I'm a huge CM Punk fan. I love Cody, but SmackDown is just unwatchable for the most part. And now they're going back to 3 hours again. You got 3 hours of television. You better get fucking Jordan Grace back on there because God, she's not been on television in months. It's like in January, they want to go back to 3 hours. I don't understand why you need 6 hours of television. But if you got that big of a roster with 6 hours, you better put some new fucking people on there. Matt Cardona can be on there. You got so many. I'm trying to think of some of your tag titles. No one even knows that you have tag titles because you don't show it. Like you got R-Truth and Damian Priest as tag titles on SmackDown. I forgot they were even there. I couldn't tell you who I'm assuming that the Vision is the tag champs right now on Raw. I might be wrong. Like, and then you've got the Viking Raiders or War Raiders or whatever the fuck they're called today. They are the tag champions in AAA and they're going for the SmackDown titles. It's like, there's too many goddamn titles in wrestling. There's too many titles in AEW. There's too many titles in WWE. There's too many titles on the indies. Don't even get me started on NWA. Everybody's got a fucking belt there. So, yeah. The way I fix that is I get rid of some fucking titles. That would fix a lot of problems. But speaking of Punk, WWE put out a 20 years of CM Punk. We're going on 2 decades of the best in the world, and they are doing a promotion sale there that if you buy tickets to the shows that he's going to be at, you're going to save 20% by using the code PUNK20. And one of the dates that stands out on this 20-year tour of CM Punk is, I lost it. In his hometown of Chicago for a little show called World's End on September the 26th. And if you're thinking, what else is on September 26th? All Out. All Out is. And I called this as soon as I saw that AAA and WWE was going to run a show up against WWE, that CM Punk would be headlining that fucking show. I don't know if he's going to have a match. I don't know what's going to happen, but he's already been advertised to be on that show. He's also going to be at the Mexico City episode of SmackDown. That makes sense. It takes place, I want to say, the night before Triple Mania, if not during Triple Mania. And then, my thing is like, you are going to, why? We know why. They want to put, they hate AEW, and CM Punk definitely hates AEW. So they're going to go up against each other. The ticket sales for Worlds Collide, I want to say, is selling pretty well. I mean, and this is going to help it for sure. Well, let's see here. WWE ticket sales. See if I can grab those while we're sitting here. WrestleTix is the best source for tickets. They have, I think they already posted the Worlds Collide ones. That's for All In. That's SmackDown. I really thought we would have that somewhere. Anyways, they're selling well. And now they're going to definitely be selling well, especially because they're 20% off. There we go. It is. So they have sold, it's set up for 10,000 people. They've sold 3,000 tickets. So it's not selling as well as I thought it would. We're 56 days away from the show. There's a lot of tickets to sell. As for All Out, tickets. All Out is sold. Sorry for the dead air. Just trying to find that. I can't find it. WrestleTix. That's All In. They don't have one for All Out yet. So, either way, you got All Out taking place the same fucking day, and CM Punk is coming in to take over, and I think they're going to paper the fuck out of that show. I definitely see CM Punk having a match on that show. Like, they are not playing, and the fact that he's going to be in Chicago for that is crazy. I definitely don't think he's. My thing is he going to still be having? Is he still going to have the title? Because on next Friday on SmackDown, they're going to be in Toronto, which is Kevin Owens' hometown. Will he still have the title after that? I don't know. I think he will. I think they're going to do a trio, like a trilogy or something. Or I think Punk's going to have a fuck finish on the first one. Something's going to happen. I don't see them swapping the title in Toronto. WWE hates giving people wins in their hometown, so definitely could see them not doing that. So, but that's what we got for WWE. I did want to go in and remind everybody about the Super Bowl of Wrestling. We've got that card coming up very quickly. They have tickets on sale. They are 25% off right now. There's 25% off until the day of the show. It's going to be taking place at the Corbin Arena, August the 22nd. Tickets on sale now at amwrestling.com. There's 5 matches announced so far. It's headlined by my favorite tag team, and it should be yours, FTR versus the Good Brothers. We also got, that is for the Appalachian Mountain Wrestling Tag Team Championship. We also have a huge match. It's a 6-way scramble match for the Kentucky Championship. And that match includes Marcus Johnson, who's the current Kentucky champion, going up against former WWE superstar Ridge Holland, aka Luke Menzies. He is in that match. Elliott Russell is in that match. Michael Zodiac is in that match, and RT3 is in that match with a mystery opponent. Who will be the mystery man? I don't know. We also have on that card a 3-way for the world title with the current champion of Lord Murphy Costigan going up against the prospector Wes Barker and the former 2-time AEW World Champion Marty Clay. Marty had an interview with us this week on the channel. If you haven't checked that out, go ahead and do that right now. Another big match is a Mountain Warfare match for the New South Wrestling title between Kyle Maggard, the AEW president Kyle Maggard, and one and only Stan Sierra. Kyle will have Lemon Juice in his corner, and you will have Tony Presley in the corner of Stan Sierra. Lemon Juice will give up his general manager role for the night to the one and only former SmackDown general manager. God damn, my brain's not working today. Yeah. I'm doing a horrible job promoting that. Let's see here. Teddy Long. Teddy Long is going to be the general manager for the night. I think there's a couple more matches announced, but if you can't come out, it will be on Triller TV. So check that out. Check out all their socials, but most importantly, check out the interviews I did. It helps so much. If you've already watched those, please share them with your friends. It helps me out tremendously to get more traction on those videos and get people to watch it and to sell some tickets. I will be in the house. Most likely, I'm going to have some stickers to give out to people and some buttons. I've got a couple of those left from my con days. I plan on bringing those with me. So if you see me on the floor, come say hello. Hello. I was going to say hello, but come say hello. If you see me at the Super Bowl of Wrestling in Corbin, Kentucky, I can't wait for that show. We are 1 week away. I believe we're going to have a guest on next week. As of right now, the plan is to have one of the people from False Finish on. So Cody from False Finish is scheduled as of right now to join us next week. I don't know if that's going to be on the podcast or be on a interview, but he will be on to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl of Wrestling and their relationship with False Finish. So if you haven't yet, go get your tickets, amwrestling.com. Also, check them out on socials, all that shit. But most importantly, go check out our socials at RSRG Podcast on Twitter. We're at RSRG Podcast on TikTok. We're the same on X, Twitter, Instagram, X, TikTok, at RSRG Podcast. But also, we are still on Facebook. Yes, right. I am a boomer in some ways. In some ways, I'm not. I'm still on Facebook. So go check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/RSRG Entertainment. We are RSRG Entertainment anywhere you look, but this show is Random Shit, Random Guy. And we are happy that you have stuck with us this long. I want to say, once again, if you haven't yet, like this page, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Thumbs up help us so fucking much. Share it with your friends. Enter the comment down below if you've already got your tickets for the Super Bowl of Wrestling. If you think Dom should become a babyface, whatever you want, comment down below, get involved. Anytime anybody comments after the show, I always come in and I comment behind them. So I like to build that conversation, but I'm really excited to have you guys with me on this journey. And that's all I got. So I hope to see you guys next week. Like I said, there will be at least one video next week, possibly two. We shall see. And then we've got the Super Bowl of Wrestling coming up in just 9 days. So next week might be a preview for that. It might be a hybrid show like this one and that. We'll see what's going on. Stick around, hit that notification bell so you know when we're live, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks.